And welcome to a special episode of the Pals podcast. Dani, why is today special?
Episode 300. And this is an insane milestone for the Pals podcast. I am very happy, but I also want to congratulate you because you've been here from the start and you've maybe only missed 2 episodes.
It's not maybe. I've only missed 2 episodes.
So you've only missed 2 episodes, and I think...
And I've done 2 more that didn't get released.
This is a huge milestone.
So this actually is my 300th episode as well. This has got to be like 120 for you, probably 100 for you.
Yeah.
Give or take. She's choking up. She's getting emotional.
I'm getting emotional over here.
No, but it actually is. I know we've said it on the pod so many times. Like very few podcasts make it past like episode 20.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So to be sitting here, like it's truly remarkable considering like we don't get paid. We do this just for fun, and like. While podcasting is fun, it is a lot of work. There are so many people that think it's easy to start a podcast, and then they start one and they realize it's a fuck ton of work. That's why most podcasts don't make it past 20 episodes. We've done 300. There's over 350 hours of Pals podcast content.
Yeah, so I was going to even bring this up. What is, I think, the best part about having the podcast, and what is the worst part?
Okay, so we'll start like this. I like that. My favorite part about the podcast, and I was actually talking about this today at a work lunch, is the unique and different people we get to meet doing this. Mm-hmm. I think it's very cool that we have a platform where we get to sit down and talk to people and get their undivided attention for an hour, and we get to learn so much about their lives and what they do, and they're excited to come on here, and people are bringing the best versions of themselves on this podcast every time. Like I think it's just such a special moment. Mm-hmm. And I've met so many other people outside of the podcast, but I feel like the connection you make with someone during a podcast, like it lasts a long time. Especially a lot of people we have aren't like mega famous people. This is their first ever podcast.
Yeah, well, I feel like this was what I was saying offline before, but there's some people you've had on the podcast that I've met in passing over the past couple of years, but it was more of like a hi, hello, didn't actually know them. They come on the podcast, and now it's like, I'm excited to see what's next. I'm excited to see them out again. Whether it's like making plans or just running into them, it's like I'm excited to see those next steps. So I think that's really cool.
It is, honestly, it's just fun and cool.
Yeah. But I also think, I think this is the whole point. You and George kind of started this thing to give yourselves that kind of undivided time for each other a week. And I think we've even continued that just when I took over. So I think that's also really fun. Like no matter
think about how many times me and you, like we get back from a trip and I'm like, just hold it, Dani. We're going to the podcast. Save it.
Yeah. Well, it's like we talk all the time, and like when we have stories, like you know me, like I just like telling them to you, and like I'll tell them on the podcast too. But I think it also forces ourselves to even learn more about each other in different ways. Like there's a lot of things that we've known each other, and I feel like we know each other well. We travel together too, but we meet someone else on the podcast, we are able to have a conversation with them, and it kind of brings up other topics in our lives, and we kind of learn more about each other.
It's just it's remarkable what, and again, like we don't have millions of downloads, we don't have crazy sponsors, like we are still just plugging away day in, day out, posting clips, making content, doing this podcast. And you know, there's some days where you're like, you get frustrated because you have such a good episode and it doesn't do any views. But then you have those days where you sit down and you're having a tough day and you get to the pod and you have that really good episode and you're just like, fuck, this is why we do it.
Oh, I know. Like I feel it, especially with me. There's been times where like I've been really stressed this year over stupid stuff or work and school and all of that. And I dread sometimes coming here because I'm like, this is another thing. I get home later. I wasn't living downtown. And I found myself kind of just in this like repetitive cycle. Like I just have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do this. And I come here, have an episode, and I leave like with a whole different mentality. Whether it's because of the guest, because of you, because of Jess, something happened in this episode that kind of just switched it around. So it's like I'm always thankful for it at the end of the day.
And we've been very lucky that, I don't know if it's just been the last like 6 months or something, but I feel like every guest, like, I feel like we haven't had a slow episode. I don't remember our last like even mediocre episode.
I can't remember the last mediocre one, but like I never hate guests either. There's never an episode where I'm like, oh, I hate this person.
I don't align with them.
Like nothing. Like most people that we have on, like we might have different views or values, which a lot of people tend to have the same, but I never leave not liking someone and not wanting to hang out with them afterwards.
Yeah, I'm always just so, like, I'm just always so down for
I'm like
the pod.
even thinking like since like May.
I'm trying to think about it. I was just like, I don't remember the last time I walked out of the pod and was like, whatever.
Yeah. Which is amazing. But like, I also think one thing, I don't know if we did as much of it this year, but I know last year we did a lot of it in the year before, which is like kind of like the experiences we get out of the podcast, whether it's the concerts, I think concerts primarily and things like that. Red Rocks was number one top experience I think I've had with the podcast, being able to get.
And we could possibly do it again with Gracie Abrams this year.
I am already trying. So
we'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out afterwards. But I think it's little things like that too that I also want to keep growing with the podcast. And I know we even said next year we kind of wrote down our goals.
Well, let's talk about them. Let's share them with the people listening, because while we do this for us, it's also like this is a little bit of a community now. You know, like I'm more attached to the people who listen to this podcast than I am to like my audience on my TikTok and my social media, because this is before any of that.
I also just feel
I remember like when we started this, I had no social media.
This is also long format, which a lot of people don't listen to long format anymore. Or you have your couple podcasts and you like, once you have your couple, I even find it for myself. Like I have my 3 podcasts that I listen to, and those are kind of in seasons too. So it's not even all year round. And I listen to those and I don't really venture off unless like I'm really bored, because it's hard enough to find that time. So the fact that people are taking their time out of their day to sit there and listen to us 2 losers.
Yeah. It's honestly
nice.
truly marvelous. Okay, well, let's do some shout outs actually, since like, you know, like someone like Dimitri Manuel. Dimitri, if you're listening to this, man, I fucking love you. And I love that you picked up your baby and you had your pals hat on. I was going to say
that I saw like, that you like
that's one of the most
at the hospital
moments
with the
for
pals
the podcast.
hat.
Yeah, like you've been a listener since day one and I fucking love you, man. If you're listening to this, I really, truly, from the whole bottom of my heart, appreciate you. It's like both our moms like that listen to this like religiously, like Sophia, Andrea, like
Maz will literally call me and she tells me if she's behind a couple episodes, and she'll like ask me questions about certain people, and we'll have like conversations about things we've talked about on the podcast. So it's just like kind of nice. Like obviously a lot of people close around us, but there is some people that we don't know well, or like we had Manya come to like our episode like literally a year ago, and she's still in the DMs, so
supporting. So yeah, everyone who's been supporting, we really appreciate you, because while we obviously do this for us, and even if we had 1 listener or 0 listeners, we'd probably still fucking do this. But it's cool to know that some of you guys do listen, because there's only so much ear time in a week. And, you know, we're competing with these mega big podcasters that have these crazy cool guests. And it's just me and Dani, who are normal, ordinary people. And you guys share your time with us. So we really appreciate you.
I want to hold that thought for after. So please don't forget that.
But the ear time?
Just about other podcasters.
Okay.
Big podcasts.
So let's talk about
our goals this year.
Okay, perfect. So
and then we still talk about what the worst thing about the podcast is too. Yeah.
Let's talk about our goals for this upcoming year, because I do think it's cool, and we did actually sit down and talk about it like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
You want to start?
Okay, so one of my goals this year's was definitely to have my mic always by my mouth. But no, to be serious, I think one thing is we really want to streamline the process editing wise. And I think that's really important. Even just like quality control with our cameras, audio. We're getting a new studio. So I think that's one thing that we really got to look into ASAP in the new year. And kind of finding someone to help streamline.
Well, we do have someone in the bank.
Yes.
We have an intern
but
coming.
We just got to kind of streamline that process, because as much as me and Ricky love to do this, I'm very busy with work and school. Ricky's really busy with his 5,000 jobs, and we want to make this as best as possible for not only us, but for everyone else who's watching this or listening to this.
And I think that the quality of the content, we're happy with the audio and what we say and the guests we bring on, but, you know, helping us reach new audiences and reach more people, I think we got to make sure that our audio is consistent, our video is consistent, all these little things. So,
well, it's 300 episodes. Yeah. Yes, it's an amazing milestones, but there's always room to grow. We have a lot of room to grow. So I think even if it's just small things or big things every year, if we can just try to even get that much better, I think we'll just appreciate it more too. And we will want to continue to kind of keep doing this, because it is a lot of time and energy.
100%.
Another goal that I really want to do is I really want to take the pod to a different city for a weekend. So me and Ricky travel a lot together. So whether it's Florida, Nashville, LA, London, literally anywhere, kind of line up some guests in one of those places, states, countries, whatever it is, cities, and kind of reach a new audience over there. So that's one of my goals.
The cool part is too, I'm so down for that, and you can literally pick any place, and I'm basically a yes, and I can figure the rest out.
Yeah, for me, this will not be happening till after April, but then I'm good.
Okay, we can figure it out. I love that. I'm truly down, especially because I want to travel and be going on more podcasts in different cities, so we can definitely figure this out.
Well, I just think it also broadens our. A lot of people do pass through the city, but a lot of the times there are guests that we can't have on because they're in the city for 24 hours. We're in contact with their management. They're like, next time they're in the city. And again, it's always quick trips to Toronto. So now that we have some direct lines too, I think it'd be easy to kind of set those up in their hometowns.
100%.
And you also have a growing social media, so that doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Another goal, I think, again, would be to do a proper, cool live podcast.
Yeah,
like
I think the last one was like a good starting point, but like I think we can do it 20 times better.
And the cool thing is, I know the location already. I've got it ready. It is gonna happen, and that'll likely be a Q4 thing.
That's good.
Yeah, but that'll be, or maybe episode 333 or something. Who knows? That'd be cool.
I feel like there's a lot of cool, like even like 333, 350. Like there's so many cool. Like we'll probably be at 350 by a year from now, because we basically release 50 episodes a year, give or take. We release our like solo episodes, just me and you, once a month. Again, sometimes that becomes twice a month, and who knows what's gonna happen. We might do even more solo episodes, just me or just Ricky. We're gonna kind of see how that works, but I think we have a lot of exciting things coming next year, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, one thing that I really want to do, whether if it's solo episodes or like Pals After Dark, I know we've said it so many times.
See, there's just so many, and I think this is maybe a good topic. The Pals After Dark would be so fun, because there's so many times we finish an episode and we actually sit down here with our guests for like 40 minutes, and we're just like shooting this shit on literally absolutely anything because the cameras are off. I don't know if someone knew if the camera was on, or we'd have to edit 20 times more.
Or maybe it's just there's no video, it's just audio.
Yeah, maybe it's just audio. I don't know how that looks like, but some of the content is just so good.
Sometimes
I just don't know if the conversations.
Yeah, sometimes the conversations we have after are better.
Yeah,
and maybe it's not a consistent thing. Maybe it's just the people that sit down and have a time, and then we're just chilling. We're just like Pals After Dark, and we just kind of look at each other.
Or maybe if it's just like the connection we have with them, or I don't know. Like we'll just call a spade a spade. I think it's a lot harder with musicians sometimes, because sometimes we do have those long conversations afterwards, but they're not allowed to. Like they're media trained in a certain way that they can't actually have these conversations on air, but they'll have it with us. But who knows? I feel like we could definitely try to figure something out to kind of make that work.
Yeah, no, aligned.
It's a work in progress.
And then I think even some numbers wise, like I think it'd be cool to hit like 1 million total views or downloads or something in a year. Or maybe total for like, I don't even know what our number is right now, because again, we've been doing this for so long that we don't really track it. We kind of just we track it when we have sponsors, and that's it. But
another thing, getting a consistent sponsor. So if you're listening and if you know anyone, whether if it's not even consistent, I think we just want to start dipping our toes back in the pool of kind of getting sponsors for the podcast. We're gonna be on the hunt. If you guys know anyone to suggest, let us know. And yeah.
Okay, let's do personal goals for next year. Actually, no, let's recap this year too, because I don't think we've really done it. Like I did it yesterday randomly. I started writing my goals, and I use the same Google sheet every time.
So I don't write down my goals.
No,
I haven't. And I think this year I was kind of very all over the place. And I couldn't even. I think I have a lot that I actually want to write down for next year and kind of just start tracking them to see if I get there, because then a year goes by and my brain's mush. So I think that's one thing I want to start doing.
I've just so I pulled up mine from last year, and I always do it based on categories. I divide my yearly goals based on categories, and I'm gonna change it this year. I'm gonna divide it based off months, and I think that'll help me be more accountable. And I might not. I'll set some yearly goals, like the generic ones. I'll divide my categories, but then I'll set some monthly goals too. So the goal for January, and just to give an example, is to host one event, which I've already got lined up, and to start my music lessons. By the end of Q1, I want to have a business in mind to invest in.
my business that I'm going to come up with. That's my goal next year.
And maybe it's yours. It might be stock and roll. Hopefully it's stock and roll.
Hopefully it's mine too.
Oh, and yours, Dani. I said, if you came to me with a good idea.
That's my goal. So my goal for next year, like again, my main focus in life right now is my CPA and work. Those are my main goals. CPA, once that's done, I will have a lot of wiggle room. Last year also I had a lot of it was a lot of positive things, but I traveled a lot for like weddings and friends and things, which was great. But I want to be able to pick a trip for me, if that makes sense.
100% makes sense.
Pick my bigger trips for me. And another thing that I was thinking about too, I really, when I'm traveling, sometimes whatever, but I want to make purpose-based travels. I feel like you've done this a lot in the past, but okay, Noah Kahn and Gracie Abrams are playing in London. Very open to going to that, but I'm also 2 days later, they're playing in Belgium. Very open to kind of making a trip and going to an event of some sort and making that a priority of seeing things in different places.
Again, the good thing is with me, you don't have to ask. I'm fucking in.
I know you are.
So travel for the first time in my life, I might actually put travel on the back. And when I mean travel, I mean I'm not including Florida.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my travel, but it's going to be promo based. Let's go on some podcasts in LA. Let's, maybe go away just to get some sun. Yeah. In their work, they are work trips, not dedicated work trips, but they're kind of work trips. But next year's not going to be so much about traveling to New York for 48 hours just for fun to get drunk and get fucked up. It's okay, if I'm going to New York, why am I going there? I talk about purposely traveling places, but maybe it's to learn about this or to play pickleball. That's my weekend that I just had in Cleveland and Detroit was, if it was warm weather, that's my ideal fucking weekend.
Well, I think
I didn't have a single drink this weekend either. Yeah. I didn't have one single drink. I played pickleball I played five times in 3 days. I saw the Leafs play. I got to hang out with my family. I got to hang out with my cousin. My cousin was so excited to teach me how to play Magic the card games, and I fucking loved playing with him every minute of it. I was so excited. We stayed up till 1 a.m. playing Magic the Gathering, or Magic the Card Gather, whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. And I had so much fun because he was so excited to teach me. And we said we're going to play every trip we go on, and it was just, yeah, shit like that I want to do more of.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel like sometimes there's a difference. Sometimes there's truly a trip, whether it's exploring a new country, which still has purpose to it.
Yeah, exploring.
Or just complete leisure just to relax, which I feel like I really take that for granted, and I don't do that often. Every single year after tax season, I tell myself, I'm going to go on a relaxing trip. And I end up going to LA or London or somewhere where it's go all the time.
Yep.
So it's kind of giving myself those few days to actually be able to kind of relax and regroup. But I did hit some of my biggest goals this year, which was buy my first place.
That is very exciting. I know we did, but we almost did a full episode on that.
Yeah, well, we did the process, but
that's really exciting.
I'm in it now, and it's exciting. I literally said I was going to be home for a year, and it was almost to the date that I was home for a year. Got my shit organized, and I bought it, and I just moved in, so it's been hectic. I have so many great and bad things about it, but
of course, any big life experience.
And then I started my CPA PEP, so that's great. Before I was finishing university classes, that's all done. I've started CPA now, so now it's just about getting through these courses so I can write my exam. But those are two massive goals that I had, and I did it. So just kind of continue on that path and figuring it out.
It's exciting. This year could be a big monumental year for you personally.
Mm-hmm.
Getting your CPAs will be exciting. If you end up starting another business, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Whatever you end up doing, just make sure you make the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Any other goals?
I think routine-wise and finding consistency. I think now that I'm back downtown too, I want to find my gym routine again. Because I feel like I had it really good in the summer, and then I kind of lost it a bit.
But I said this earlier. You look good. I thought you lost weight. Maybe it's just the outfit.
I haven't been drinking.
You haven't been drinking? That's good.
But I think it's finding my routine downtown again.
Yeah.
Now that I'm back down here in the West End, I've never lived out here, but even exploring the West End, we go there once in a while, go for dinners, but it's just the little things. Where do I want to go for coffee? If someone's coming to my place, if we're walking somewhere, it's yeah, but where am I going to bring them?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think and it's really hard in the winter, but I think in the new year too, I think I'm just going to start. Things are just so busy already. Like in the new year, it's actually insane.
You know what's wild? My New Year's fucking...
I don't even want to hear yours because I'm really sad because I really want to go to Florida.
My New Year's dead.
What?
January is empty.
I thought you were going to like LA and everything.
So I'm going to LA. That's it.
We're going to... My sister's turning 18. We're going to Montreal.
Oh, so cool.
We're taking to Montreal for 18.
But no, my January is actually wide open.
I need to come to Florida.
Awkwardly wide open. If you want to come, come. I'm not going in. I'm coming. I'm come back the 2nd or the 3rd, whatever day that is. And then I got back-to-back birthdays that weekend. The next weekend I want to stay in because I want to practice pickleball. So I'm just gonna find like I can do lessons and chill. I've got a couple brand deals already lined up for January, so I'm kind of just like gonna sort that out because then at least I know I'm paid for Q1. But yeah, I think.
So basically, what you're saying when you go to LA.
The 22nd to 27th.
So you're missing Kygo, which this is actually my biggest goal, and it's going to be done in the first month, is actually see Kygo in person.
Yeah, that'd be exciting for you.
I haven't seen him. He's one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, there's next year. I don't know how next year can beat this year because this year was just such a wild ride for me personally.
But I think it could beat it in different ways. Like you attained a lot of your. Like
I attained goals I didn't know I had.
Like you didn't even understand you had, and like maybe they weren't just goals. Maybe that's just life and like the success and all the hard work you're putting into it, and it's just paying off. And which it is, it's paying off regardless if it was a goal or not. But it's just there's always going to be something else, and it may not be the exact same. It may not be you ran 6 half marathons, now you have to run 12. Like it doesn't mean that has to be a thing. It just means that like. There's other parts of your life that might get more attention now because you don't have to focus on those other ones.
Yeah. Well, no. So here are some basic goals that I have. So the social media business, I want to keep that going. I want to keep that growing. I want to keep, again, doing fun shit, meeting cool people, and working with cool brands, bigger campaigns. And I've already got some lined up, which is really cool. I want to learn an instrument, and I'm going to learn an instrument, and the instrument's going to be the banjo. I've already got my lessons booked every Monday night. 7:00. I'm sorted. I've already got the first 2 months booked. I'm ready to rock and roll. Banjo Rick is coming to life. There's that. I decided I want to get in the best shape of my life next year. And I don't know if I'm going to take steroids yet. I haven't decided. I just need to decide if I can quit drinking for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know yet. But for those listening, I don't care. I don't think steroids are bad. I'm very pro steroid.
No.
Listen, if you can, for someone like me, for example, quitting drinking and eating healthy for 8 weeks and taking steroids is better for me overall than living the current lifestyle I live because of the drinking. The effects of me not drinking and eating healthy properly and working out every day and taking steroids would be greatly greatly beats the current lifestyle I live, which is fine. So we'll see about that. I'm still teeter-tottering on that idea, but if I do, I got no problem with it. I'll do it. And I would document it and I would share it with the world because I think it'd be very cool and very interesting to share with the world. But yeah, I decided next year I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. And the main thing that I'll do will be diet. I'm going to diet properly next year. I'm going to pick a proper diet, whether it's carnivore or really focus on my intermittent fasting and stop fucking around with popcorn and drinking.
So they even say carnivore. They say you want to reset your system to do it 21 days.
Yeah, maybe I do that, or it's maybe I do carnivore 6 days a week and one day I fuck around.
Yeah, see, I feel like if you're gonna do it, I'd rather just do it because I kept contemplating. Some girl at the office did it, and she did it to kind of regulate and really fix things. She did it for 30 days. Yeah. Then she slowly after that just started reintroducing, or if there was on a weekend, she would introduce a different. Again, it was still a healthy fat, but would just maybe add a little something to her meal just to kind of give her more than just some
My problem is the traveling. Whenever time you travel, it's tough to stick to a diet when you're traveling. So
yeah,
I'm going to sort that out. But next year, I'm going to learn an instrument. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. I'm investing in another business. I've already started saving in my TikTok money account. I've got money there, starting to save up so that I will have money by Q2 or Q3 when it's time to pay up. Every side opens up at the end of January, early February, so that'll be really cool.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, so am I. And I've decided I'm going to have dinner at least twice a month. Where I go there, I bring friends, I'll pick up the bill for food, or maybe, hopefully, I would assume maybe I get it comped, I don't know. Everyone's on the hook for their own beers, or maybe I buy everybody around the beers. I don't know, but I want it to be a social thing where it's maybe, hey, every other Thursday, I will be there. If you want to come come. If not, I'll sit at the bar by myself. But I want it to be a thing where like people know I'm going to be like, yesterday was the first time I've talked about it on my social media that I own it.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people do, or even like
my mom asked me, she's like, you've never told people. I was like, holy fuck, you're right. I've never told people that I invested.
well,
like we
even
said on the
when,
podcast, but
barely. When Brian was here, we maybe said like 10 seconds of it because we were just so focused on talking about him.
This year, the business I invested in was Every Side, this beer. Last year was the pickleball team. The year before was, I didn't have it because that was year one of social media.
Castaways.
Yeah, Castaway lost me a fuck ton of money. Castaway. Yeah, maybe next year it's Dani's business. Who the fuck knows?
I'm just committed to finding something. It doesn't. It needs to be like a side hustle, passive income.
See, it's tough. It is really tough.
It is so hard, but I need something. And if it becomes my full time,
well, maybe Dani, maybe it's this. Maybe you find a sponsor for this, and this becomes the side hustle.
There's something in there, something in me, and I used to always have these good ideas, and the past 6 months I've been at a complete halt, but I've told certain friends, and whoever actually comes up with ideas with me and brainstorms this and actually sets a plan, that's who I'm partnering with, because I know I don't have the time to do it by myself, but that's my little trick.
Okay, fair enough. And doing it with someone else is always fun.
Well, I just think it adds also that, like, there's already so many days like where I go months without seeing some of my friends, that it kind of gives that social aspect too. Like, how many times like are we busy? Like, I haven't socially seen you since November, DB's birthday.
Yeah.
So we haven't socially hung out.
See, but me and you, this is my socially hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Like Moretti's the type of guy, we speak on the phone every other day on the car ride home. George, we randomly run and we randomly connect. Excuse me, DB, we travel and we do things. My thing is, in the new year, I want to disappear from people randomly seeing me. I don't want people to be, I bumped into him. Like, no, every time you see me, it's going to be planned and calculated. So it's not like, hey, oh yeah, I randomly bumped into him at a restaurant. It's like, no, he was there because he's out with Dani for dinner, or he's traveling doing this, or he's running with this person. Like, you're never going to just catch me out and about. Does that make sense? Am I making sense at all?
It makes sense because like I'm almost setting another goal, because everything this year has been so strategically planned. Like,
yeah, so that's what I want.
Like, my weekends have been, okay, let's just say Friday night stay in, get my act together. Saturday, we have the Kygo concert. Okay, we're going to the podcast at 2. We meet our friends at 3. We have Every Side at 4. We go to Kygo. Everything's just been, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just example, but everything's just been so meticulous. Or like this weekend, I have girls' night on one night. Get home, like Saturday, I have this and that. Then I have one event. Then I have to drive to the next event. It's just, I haven't had a night where I'm just like calling my friend, being like, hey, let's go grab dinner and then see where the night fucking ends up. Like, or, oh, it's a Sunday, like, let's grab brunch, walk around the city. Like, everything's just been so meticulously planned by the hour that I miss a bit of just free time to kind of decide, which is just different than you right now.
Yeah, it is very different. So my January right now is fucking wide open, and it's weird. I don't like it.
I almost miss sometimes being like, hey, Rick, what are you doing tonight? Like, let's go grab a drink.
See, my goal is for that to never happen in the new year.
Yeah, and I think it's because I didn't have it this year, and I miss kind of that unknown. Like, I think some of my best days are when they weren't planned.
Yeah, and sometimes that's okay, but I don't think it should be, at least for me, my January, February, March, Q1, it's buckle down, take care of business, get shit done, do the cool shit that I want to do, focus on my work, focus on my businesses, and just fucking grind. So Q2, Q3 are wild, and then Q4 buckle down again.
Well, literally, like, for me, everything's dependent on my PEP schedule, like CPA schedule. But regardless, my January to April is fully work and school related.
Yeah.
And okay, long weekend, I'm probably going to New York for my sister's birthday. Again, March, basically just all school and work. And then January, Montreal for my sister's birthday. So I'm like kind of giving myself those one weekends to kind of really kind of just not do anything. But I really need to go somewhere hot before I really lose my mind.
Yeah. No, I'm Florida's. I'm going to sneakily get away to Florida for 48 hours at least 2 or 3 times this year.
Yeah.
Find a weekend. The flights are cheap. Book my flight Friday after work or Thursday after work. Not tell anybody. So I'll just work from home on Friday. But yeah, this, I just, when you have a weird feeling about a year that it's just going to be insane and I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know what, I just have that fucking feeling. I feel that 2025 is going to be fucking insane.
I think it's going to be a good year too. I think there's a lot of, I think we're both ending the year on a very high note.
Okay, so let me ask you, what's the best thing that happened to you this year?
My condo.
That's the best thing that happened to you this year? Yeah.
100%.
It's exciting.
It is. What's the best thing that happened to you?
Honestly, I don't even fucking know.
It's hard.
Like the book, I just think about the book and reading it at the launch. And I remember like the fucking roller coaster of emotion. Because again, there was like 80, 90 people there. Like through the door that night, there was 120 people. Okay, so let's say 10 of them were just randomly there. Fine. And then some people came just to say hi. Some people came late, left early, whatever. But like during the reading, there was probably a good 80-ish people. And I remember being so fucking excited to being fucking almost embarrassed, to being proud, to feeling empty, to feeling so full, all in the span of like 10 fucking minutes. So that was really cool. But then also like when I completed this last half marathon 2 weeks ago, like to me, that was like, holy fuck, I ran 6 half marathons and a full marathon. Like maybe to runners, that's like no big deal. But to like the average Joe who drinks as much as I do and does as many things as I do, that's insane. Like I looked at my goals the other day and I wanted to have 500,000 combined followers by the end of the year.
You have that already on one platform.
I have 800,000 right now. So like I fucking smashed that.
Do you want to keep hitting these goals of social media? Because
this year I'm not setting social media goals.
Okay, because let's have this conversation. I feel like in the past, social media was always a fun extra thing. This year,
it got out of control.
You grew, but you grew to a sense that like you weren't expecting it almost, and like it pulled you out of a hole that you were in, a slow hole.
I'm at a very comfortable spot that I don't think I want. I want to hit 500K on TikTok just so I'm there.
I would say like this last portion of the year, September until now. Even July until now, like you took a couple weeks here and there when we were away, but you made social media a priority in your life.
I did.
No matter whether it was with travels, whether it was social activities, like that was your main priority, which is not a bad thing. But are you looking to keep you? But it was just even like hiring Jess, great thing. Jess is amazing, but even little things like that, like I just feel like you would leave this podcast, go to an event. You would come before this podcast, go to another event. Like the next day, what are you doing? I can't. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, events, Thursdays, this. Like it was just
2025, what I'm doing on social media currently is exactly what I want to continue to do. No more, no less. I said, especially what I've done the last quarter, the last 3-4 months, like I put more an emphasis on events, meeting people, connecting with people, trying to do other podcasts and collabing with other people. So like today I was just on Tall Blonde with Sarah Simkowski. Great girl. Sarah, you were awesome. I genuinely wholeheartedly think you're an amazing person. So thank you. But what I'm doing and what I was doing, what I'm currently doing is what I want to continue doing next year. Do my few brand deals. They're a little bit of a bigger campaigns. Really excited about that. Do my podcast. I'm not going to be, this summer I put a big emphasis on going viral and growing, and that was wrong. But I got caught up in it, and I'll be the first to admit it. I was doing quotes to go viral. Now I still do them because they're part of my brand and people want to see them. And when people want something, it makes me happy when I give it to them. Like when you see the DMs I get, and you've seen some of them, it's fucking like it makes me feel so good because I feel like I'm some sort of like relationship expert and people like rely. It's weird because I don't have a relationship and I'm terrible at giving advice. But it makes me happy and that fills my cup. So I want to keep doing that, doing the brands, but I'm not setting goals on like, I want to hit 1 million followers this year. None of that. It's just like, hey, I want to work with cool brands. I want to keep doing cool shit, meeting cool people, doing fun shit. Like still doing that, attending events. If I can go on a couple trips this year with social media, great. If not, no big deal. My actual bigger social media goals will be around the podcast because I do think it'd be cool to get Shawn Mendes on the fucking podcast. And like, while that is a little bit of a stretch, it's not that fucking far out of the question. Like, like if you would have told me that I would have been on CP24 for a book a year ago, I would have been like, you're fucked. We have a better chance of getting Shawn Mendes on the podcast. So my social media goals will be a lot more aligned with the podcast. We're going to have an intern. They're going to help with that. Jess is still going to be taking care of my social media, my vlogs, and those cool edits that I really like. Yeah, if I got to take a dip and my followers are going to drop and I'm going to lose views, and it is what it is, but at least the people that'll stick around will be around because they enjoy what I'm about.
Well, it's authentic to you.
Yeah. So I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, you're the guy that reads quotes on the online. It's like, no, absolutely not. I want to be like, yo, you're that fucking psycho that got drunk and ran a half marathon and then fucking did X, Y, and Z. It's like, yeah, I'm that fucking guy. So
I love that.
Yeah, that's why it's. I just have a feeling 2025 is going to be a good year. But yeah, I guess to answer your original question, I guess writing the book would probably be the coolest thing that happened to me this year.
Yeah, I think it's hard sometimes to sit there in the moment and think of all the cool stuff or what made you happiest, because it's hard to pinpoint because in those moments. But like,
I don't know. 2023 was easy for me. Like Roman was born in 2023. That was insane.
Yeah, but like those are you had.
I did the Iron Man. That was insane. Yeah. And my pickleball team won. That was insane. Yeah.
No, those are 3 great things. But like
and here this year again, I had other cool things. Like I made a good amount of money on social media, which was really cool. I hit milestones I didn't think I was gonna hit. I invested in. I own a beer company. That was really. Like, I keep forgetting how fucking cool that is. Like I traveled to Hawaii for the first time. I manifested Hawaii. I wrote a book. Again, insane.
No, I think all these things are unbelievable, and they are stuff you should be proud of and celebrate them. But I think sometimes. I don't know how to say this. It's like you materialize your success with like big events or big things without like sometimes celebrating even just the small things. Because I'm looking back and like 2 of my favorite memories this year were being in Greece and Italy for my 2 best friends' weddings.
Yeah, that was another huge one.
Like they were just like, I'm like thinking back to being one of us, sitting around a table listening to Mark crack jokes till 3 a.m. before the wedding. Yeah. Like things like that. Getting ready with Becca on her wedding day. Like just things I'll never forget. Or being in Taormina with Bianca and all the girls. Like
Queen.
There's just like, Queen, Mykonos. Like there's just, we met insane people through everything. So I think there's like little things like that too that I forget, and I kind of have to reflect back on everything that's happened, and it's hard to always remember, but I think at the end of the day it's just being grateful.
Yeah. We kind of talked about the things I wanted to talk about. Those were like, we touched upon them all.
I'm gonna pivot completely because this is consuming my life right now. Are you into conspiracy theories?
No,
not at all.
But let's hear it.
Have you been looking at all like the United Health?
I follow it, but not really. No, I don't really care.
This is just so boring. Then I'm so invested.
Really?
That's like all my TikToks are conspiracy theories, and like I was really big into like the Apotex murders. Like how like the owner of the company died in their basement, and they said it was suicide, but it's actually like killer on the loose. Like definitely not suicide.
Nope, I have no idea.
That's Toronto, billionaires.
What's the company?
Apotex.
Oh yeah, this was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew about this.
So then another thing. So obviously, like that's back on my social media too. People making TikToks about it. Now I'm into this one about the guy, and then like had to do with something with the number 286 and everything.
Okay, let's relax on the numbers here.
The McDonald's is 286 miles away. Okay. He had 286 tweets. He had two. I just think this stuff is so fascinating, and it really sucks because you're not into it. This wasn't even reality TV shit, so that's why I'm like, oh, definitely Ricky will definitely be able to talk about this.
Do you think I have the time for fucking conspiracy theories?
You tell me you're not scrolling through TikTok. Sorry that my TikTok is not scrolling through women like this and there.
I don't scroll.
You're scrolling through Instagram then.
Yeah, I scroll through Instagram.
Okay, you're scrolling through Instagram. Instead of me scrolling through Instagram looking for...
Not as much, like... I'm on Instagram because I talk to people.
Okay, but again...
I'm DMing, like, I have full-blown conversations in the DMs.
If I'm lying in bed before bed, like, I'm scrolling through TikTok for... I never go more than, like, 10, 15 minutes because I get bored. You can go look at my screen time. If I'm the type of person to open TikTok, scroll through 3, close it. Like, I get bored really quickly.
Dani, I've said this before. Anytime I post something at 11 o'clock onwards, you are always one of the first to watch.
Because I'm on my phone at that time because I can't sleep.
So... Why not like read or something?
My brain hurts. Why am I gonna fucking read? I hate reading.
There's our
ones.
episode.
Guys, it is okay not to like to read.
Yeah, I agree
Like,
with that.
I think people
But reading puts you to bed.
I've tried that. It literally drives me insane. It makes my head go like crazy. Like, I just can't. It is okay not to like to read. You can find different things in life to enhance your intellect, to do anything. It does not make you better than anyone else if you like to read and they don't. And I find people who read are very much like that. And some of the smartest people I know do not read.
Some of the smartest people in the world also do read.
Some of them smartest people I do read.
This is not a deciding factor of how you intake information.
No, it's not. I'm just saying, like, it is okay if you don't like to. Like, don't be scared to admit that to people. Because I find some people are so, like, you know what?
If you don't like to read books, but we all read random shit or we watch things.
Exactly.
Or
I just find, like, my brain needs to shut off sometimes, like, at night. Like, maybe
you
that
say
would
I
help.
can't sleep and then you're on social media, which is one of the worst things you can do before
It
bed.
is. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm not saying that at all. But I will turn my phone on. If there's a certain time that I can't sleep by, I'll put my phone on.
Every night.
No, but I'm not on TikTok, Instagram scrolling. Like, I open my page and you're literally posting every single 5 seconds. So, yeah, I'm seeing you. You're the first person that comes up on my fucking social media, regardless. Like, you're literally, like, do your best friends not come out first? The people I interact with first on social media come up as my stories first.
Yeah, but a lot of them aren't my best friends just because, like, my best friends don't post a lot.
Okay, exactly. You are one of my closest friends and you post the most. So you're always going to be number one of my thing. And then I get sick of it. But I have a ritual to make myself go to bed and to calm my brain because I used to get very stressed. If I couldn't sleep, I'd put my phone away. And I used to stay up longer because I was stressing myself out. And then I used to be really miserable the next day. And I haven't been sleeping. I didn't have a bed for 3 weeks. And it's been really rough.
I have new sleep gummies if you want.
I got my bed today and it broke. And I'm just really sad. But anyways, I just need to get back into my... I used to have no problems falling asleep, but it's fine. I'm working on it. 2025 goal. Because I need to get back into a better pattern because it's making me feel crazy. But I don't just sit there and scroll my phone for hours. But I love games on my phone. In another world, I'm a gamer. I said it. Maybe I'd have like some Twitch. I'd be famous off Twitch because I fucking love gaming. But anyways, that's it.
Who's your dream guest 2025?
I told you Shawn Mendes. That was on my list.
I think Shawn Mendes is fucking doable.
I think we can. I think he's coming back out of hiding. He's slowly like starting to tour again, going to performances, and he's even speaking on his performances more about his personal life, which he wasn't doing in the past. I just think he's more open to talking, and I think people
Who else?
are prouder to be from Canada and talk about Toronto. I think he's one of those people like want to talk about that.
Anybody else?
Not right now. I need another cool athlete to come on. We haven't had that in a while.
I know. Yeah, another like for me, Olympian like Sarah McIntosh would be cool. Jordan Heitzema.
Yeah, you've always really wanted her to come on.
Just because I also want to tell a story about she starstruck me.
Yeah, I remember that.
So Jordan Heitzema, Shawn Mendes, Mike Weir would be kind of cool just because he's Canadian. Anybody else?
Dua Lipa.
Yeah, okay, Dua Lipa would be sick, but
I'm kidding.
I don't know.
I don't know. You know what? I think this is stuff we can brainstorm and like things come up. I know for me personally, I think it's what I'm into in the moment. Like really watching reality TV, you think of some things you want to have one of them on to chat, or you really start listening to an artist and kind of things like that. But I think that's things we can kind of see what happens and adjust that goal as the year goes on.
Aligned.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Because I'm pretty content and happy right now. And like,
do you know what? I'm happy knowing that, even though, like, I'm just happy knowing that we hit this milestone. Like, I know that it sounds weird, but because it's not like we hit like $1 million, just doing this many times is a fucking huge accomplishment.
I think it is too. And I think this is actually one conversation we can like save for the new year for one of our episodes. Because we've talked a lot about relationships and stuff like that, but friendships and kind of how they evolve and how you learn more about each other. And I think working on this podcast has really taught us a lot about each other and kind of us learning how to navigate each other's personalities in a different way.
Yeah, 100%.
Not just socially.
Well, because again, now it's not just friendship, it's a business. Even though it's not a business that pays, it is still a business.
And it's just, I work one way
and I work a completely
and receive
other
in other ways, but we're still friends. So it's like you approach things differently. And I think that's something that people would want to listen to. So I think that's a conversation.
That might be our first Pals After Dark episode. Who knows?
Yeah.
We gotta iron that out.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I guess, for the last time this year, if you made it to the end of this, we wholeheartedly fucking appreciate the fucking hell out of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this journey. 300 episodes is a fucking milestone. And I speak for Dani and myself. We say we love each and every one of you that do listen to this, because without you, this still would happen, but it just wouldn't be the same. A lot of times you guys are the feedback you give us, or what you guys share, what you comment, all those things. It helps kind of steer this ship in the direction that we all want to go in. So from the bottom of both of our hearts, thank you so fucking much. And Dani, I'll let you end it off.
I just want us to say thank you also to Jess for our intro video. You were also so much help this year. And thank you, Alex from Distant Matter. Or Alex Distant Matter. Yeah, Distant Matter. For our new intro song, because I really think it's great. And it really adds to the podcast. And we love it. And thanks, Rick. And congrats.
Yeah. And Dani, thank you to you. And this is a accomplishment to both of us, even though I've got a couple more episodes than you. This is huge for you. Like, you started off as my best friend's girlfriend's best friend, and then podcast manager / behind camera / now on camera, and it's crazy.
Love you, pal.
Love you, pal.
Bye. Peace.